Hey guys, it's Caleb from KCNE Studios, and today we're going to be continuing our MonsterTalk series of how I would do my own Godzilla series type thing, and we're on the second movie. So yes, as y'all know, I'm gonna be talking about how I would have if I had complete control in a whole entire Godzilla movie series, how I would do the whole entire thing. So yes, this episode I have a huge script because I spent most of the time on the script. But so first I would release a poster, a couple like months or years in advance, and here's the poster. So yeah, it's a pretty good looking poster, I guess. I also had the time to draw a little poster of my own drawing paper. It's not really showing up, but there we go. So yeah, I didn't really finish it, but that's kind of what I got. So I have a whole entire section just for the story. So this video we're more going to be skipping to the story. So once the movies are released, people are in the theaters, they're going to be checking out the movie for the first time. And here is what it is called. It is going to be called Revenge of the Monsters. And so here's the story. Once I get back up. Okay, so the intro to the movie is a fight scene where Godzilla's fighting Anguirus. So remember last movie I talked about how there would be a post-credit scene in which Anguirus came after Godzilla as Godzilla was leaving that sort of lake crater thing made by the water. Well, now they're fighting, and so yeah, the intro to the movie is a fight scene with Godzilla and Anguirus. And so learning that Godzilla was before a dinosaur from a Pacific island that was nuked and, mutated by radiation, a research team is sent to the island to discover what other dinosaurs may have lived there so that they can know what other monsters may have been made. So, so the research team, they find many carcasses and bones of dinosaurs like Anguirus, Varan, and Baragon, like ancient ancestors and things like that. But just in their dinosaur form, you see. So the research team suggests that they were slaughtered by Godzilla. And so then we cut back to the scene with Anguirus, and Anguirus manages to escape Godzilla and swims away from the ocean to the ocean from him. And so the research team gets notified by the UN that a U.S. squad of Marines in hazmat suits are being deployed in the desolated zone in Japan. And so the research team replies by saying that what they found on the island and stuff like that. So the Marines are deployed by skydiving into the Deadlands, and they begin to follow after Godzilla. So then we cut back to the research team, and they continue to discover the island. So yes, pretty interesting so far. And I'll scroll back up to the top. Yeah, I wrote all the notes on my phone, so it's not too great of a thing to be copying off of, but whatever. So they discovered that Baragon and Varan coexist on the island in their giant mutated monster forms. So yeah, there's two giant monsters on the island, and they find them. So they rush back to the camp to find the camp trampled over by Anguirus. So they're kind of like, oh, that's not good. But Anguirus starts making his way towards the other monsters, and then all the monsters, all three of them, they start to have some sort of gathering, kind of. Anguirus shows the monsters wounds from when he fought Godzilla, and they all head off to the ocean to fight Godzilla. So basically what they're going to do is they're going to have their revenge on Godzilla for Godzilla basically killing their families and all that stuff. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I really like the idea and script I made for this. Yes, so they all head off to the ocean to find Godzilla. Meanwhile, the Japanese... Okay. Meanwhile, in Japan, the Marines, they travel around to many, like, various different spots in Japan. What they do is they put these trackers in 3 different places to form a triangle, kind of. If you're looking at it from a map, they basically form a triangle over along distances in Japan. And so what they're trying to do is they're going to try to put a tracking device on Godzilla so they can have some sort of a 3D tracking device on him. Like, if you guys have seen the movie The Reign of Fire, you know what I'm talking about. It's actually pretty cool. So they have this way of seeing what Godzilla's doing, and they know where he is and stuff in Japan. So that's basically what happens. But they haven't gotten the tracker on him yet. So once they've gotten the markers down, half the team dies within a single blast of Godzilla's atomic breath. The others, one of the others manages to hit Godzilla in the precise spot that they needed to, which was like a soft spot, like his thigh or something like that. I haven't really worked out the kinks on where they would hit him, but it's not too big of a deal. So they hit him, but then as they're trying to escape, they get killed by Godzilla's atomic breath. So it's pretty sad. But their mission was a success, in a way. I mean, they didn't live, but, you know, they got the tracker on him, to him. So afterwards, in the attempt to escape, they are killed by Godzilla, as I said. So, let me scroll back up. Un momento, por favor. Okay, so now the military knew where he was going and all his movements and things like that, and where, like, what he was doing, what he was up to. So the research team was picked up by the Japanese Navy and brought to a submarine where they would watch the battle from afar. So then you got this eerie scene towards the end of the movie, where Varen, Baragon, and Anguirus are sneaking up onto the bay to must after Godzilla. So Godzilla is on the edge of the shore, so they're just having this stare down. And so the research team in the Navy watched beside a cameraman while they're standing on top of the submarine. And that's basically one of the only things they have to get footage of the news, because they know that if they have, they figured out from the last movie that if they put in like helicopters and things like that, it'll just get blasted out of the air from Godzilla, because Godzilla's still trying to go after all the humans he sees and kills them. So, and then the only other camera is from satellite images. So, yeah, the only other means was from a satellite video that was going on from the news. So the whole entire world was watching this stare down on the news. The monster suddenly crept up to the shore. So they're just creeping up in the water to get up to the shore to fight Godzilla. So then suddenly Varen jumps after Godzilla and starts gliding towards him. But it's foiled when Godzilla shoots his atomic breath at Varen. So he just falls down. Then all the other monsters start charging after him. So thus begins the battle of the Japanese bays, or something like that. So yeah, now we're on to my last set of notes. So the battle later pushed into an area of Osaka, which Godzilla hasn't even destroyed yet. So they're just trampling over each other in Osaka, and that's where the battle later pushes to. So the fight ended after Godzilla had brutally killed Godzilla and Anguirus. So, facepalm, I totally just didn't say that right. Well, the fight ended after Godzilla killed Baragon and Anguirus. So Varen glides away from Godzilla just to escape him. And so Godzilla roars into the air and he turns back to his desolated lands. And so, yes, the credits roll. Now, I was planning on doing a post-credit scene, but really I couldn't think of anything, considering the next movie I would like to have teased something for Mechagodzilla or Biollante or King Ghidorah, maybe even a new monster, I don't know. But I will definitely be thinking that for the next video. So yeah, that's how I would make the movie. So now let's get on to the design. So as I showed you this, you can kind of see that it's basically a Heisei Godzilla with the spines. I know they're hard to see because I didn't really finish drawing him, but he's got the spines of more of kind of the Tokyo SOS Godzilla. And then I would stick with more of a for Anguirus' suit. I would stick for more of a modernized version of the Showa suit because I really did not like the Final War suit. I thought it was just it's not Anguirus. See, they got with the Final War suit, they got it right in all, but in some parts of him, it's just not right. Like he's too brute. He looks too menacing. Anguirus isn't menacing. He's supposed to be a cute little, ankylosaur looking thing. Even though he's not really an ankylosaur. I mean, they talked about that in Godzilla Raids Again, but he's not very much of an ankylosaur, if you know what I mean. He's not all ankylosaur. But anyways, so yeah, for Anguirus, I would go for more of a Showa modernized appeal of that suit. And then Varen, I mean, there's not much to change about Varen. All I would like is for them to go with more of a modernized suit. So yeah. And then for Baragon, I would go with I would probably use the GMK suit because that's a very nice suit, actually. I mean, if they could remodel it, then that would work too, because I think the GMK suit really nailed it. So yes, speaking of GMK, this movie would be a lot like what GMK would have supposed to have been. Not in terms of story, but in terms of the monsters. Having Varen, Anguirus, and Baragon. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. If you like Godzilla discussion and things like that, make sure you subscribe because this is the channel for you. And yes, I will be seeing you guys later. Bye-bye.
Watch out, here comes a flock of wah-wahs. Watch out for the wah-wahs.